Good morning. My name is Natalie.
And my name is Shelia.
Thank you for joining us for this week's SITREP. As always, before we introduce our guests for this week, we're going to go over the services that MVPN and the Veterans One Stop provides. So, as you know, MVPN provides peer support services, and that includes peer support groups and one-on-one peer support. The one-on-one peer support we consider like a battle buddy type program where you and a volunteer will get together and kind of just like establish how often you want to communicate and at your level and comfort. For the peer support groups, we currently have 5 active peer support groups. We have Haven, which stands for Harassment, Assault, Violence Ends Now, which is for anyone who's experienced any type of sexual assault, sexual harassment. We also have Pathfinders, which is our support group for our service members and veterans. We have the other side for dependents and family members. We have Memories, which is for journaling. We also have Yarnaholics, which is our crochet group. And that's it, right? That's it. We also assist with any type of community resource you might need, whether that be employment, housing, rental and utility, anything. There's nothing too big or too small we can't assist you with. And lastly, we also provide a variety of suicide prevention and awareness trainings. We have counseling on access to lethal means, which is CALM. We have Ask About Suicide to Save a Life. We do in collaboration with the VA SAVE training, and then we also do adult and youth mental health first aid. So now I'll turn it over to Shelia, who will talk on the one stop.
Thank you for that. So yes, the Veterans One Stop does free counseling services for veterans, active duty, and their family. As far as veterans, it does not matter your discharge status. We typically get people in within a week. Aside from El Paso County, we also service the Alamogordo and Las Cruces area. So if you need any type of help with counseling, go ahead and feel free to give us a call. We also have housed with us the Texas Veteran Commission Claims Department. So if you're trying to start your claim or you have questions about your claim, they can go ahead and get you taken care of. And we have an education department with Western Governor University and Grand Canyon University. So if you're trying to start your educational goals, they can go ahead and get you set up. You don't necessarily have to go to those particular universities. They're going to help you get squared away on whatever your educational path is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our guest for today. It's Mr. Dan. I always mess up your last name. Don Parrott.
One of those 3, right?
He's with Texas Veterans Land Board. He's the marketing and outreach specialist. Thank you again for joining us.
Of course, it's always a pleasure to come on to the SITREP with you two. It's always an adventure, as I always say. Two of my favorite veteran advocates in El Paso. So yeah, my name is Don Parrott, and I am the marketing and outreach specialist for the Texas Veterans Land Board. I am located here in El Paso, but I service West Texas, all the way up just south of Lubbock, all the way out just west of Abilene, and all the way down to Marfa and Presidio. So a pretty large area to get out to. But, the Veterans Land Board is committed to, making sure that every veteran, transitioning service member knows about the benefits that are there for them here in the state of Texas. So the Texas Veterans Land Board, it's the oldest state agency. It's been around since the end of World War II. The original intent was to provide returning World War II veterans with purchasing land in the state of Texas. So the original piece of it was, hey, we're going to do land loans at with a good interest rate and low down payments to get people to buy land here in the state of Texas and stay right here. A lot of people, I guess a lot of people outside of Texas don't know this, but Texas is the second largest veteran population in the country, only to California, but it is catching up very quickly. But it's also the #1 state for women veterans in the nation. So Texas, as far as I'm concerned, there's no other state that even comes close to what Texas does for its veterans across the board, not just at the state level, but at the local level. The One Stop is one of those organizations that is a be all do all kind of place. And so with the Land Board, they've expanded their programs over the years. So, land loans is where they started. Texas is the only state that actually has a land loan program at the state level. But they also added a home loan program, a home improvement loan program. They operate 9 Texas State Veterans homes. They're getting ready to open another one in Fort Worth. It's actually almost complete. And then they have 4 Texas State Veteran cemeteries, and they will be building another one in Lubbock. So, you know, they're trying to expand as best they can to capture all the different areas of Texas. You know, I get a lot of questions about, well, why don't we have more than one veterans home? Why don't we have, you know, multiple veterans homes in an area? Well, to answer that question, it really just comes down to trying to make sure that every area has some sort of coverage first. Once we get to that point where there's some sort of coverage from the VLB with veterans homes, then they can start talking about, well, you know, where are the areas that really need a second one first, and then, you know, they'll move down the line for that. Cool thing about the home loan program, actually the home loan and the home improvement loan program, is if you're a disabled veteran and you're 30% or more disabled, you qualify for a discounted interest rate. You know, the housing market has been pretty volatile for a good year. Interest rates haven't been kind to anybody that's out there looking for a home. So if you're that disabled veteran and you are 30% or more disabled, now's a really good time to use the VLB, because the VLB doesn't originate the loan. What they do is they work in conjunction with the VA, conventional financing, or FHA. So if you're a veteran and you're planning on using the VA anyway, you can take advantage of the benefits of using a VA home loan and the benefits of using a VLB home loan together. So you're taking advantage of that lower interest rate, and you're taking advantage of the VA and getting out of a lot of the fees that come along with buying a home. So there's really the best way I can explain it is it's like an add-on. I mean, there's really no downside to it. You can't really lose. And the same goes for the home improvement loan. If you're 30% or more disabled, you qualify for a discounted interest rate. And with that one, what's great about that program is you can borrow up to $50,000, up to 20 years. There's no down payment for it. You choose the contractor for the work. There's a one-time closing, and then funds are available within 4 days, and you know, you can get your work done. You can use all of the loan programs more than once. So if you use the home loan program and say you decide you want to buy a different house and you sell your house and it closes out that loan, you can go back and use it again. It's not a one-off kind of thing. And that's for all the programs. Home improvement loan program, if you have a project you're doing and you get it done and you pay off the loan, you can use it again. So my advice to people is, if you've got like multiple projects that you could lump together with one contractor, you know, maybe do it that way, because each time you use it, you're going to have to go through the process. So if you could save yourself some time, maybe just do more than one project. The veterans homes are state-of-the-art facilities. Have you two been over the Ambrosio Guillen here? Yeah, so you know, it's always great to go in there and talk to the veterans that are in there. They have great stories to tell. They love visitors. I mean, to begin with, anytime you go in there and you have a chance to go and speak with them, they're all about it. Our stories would pale in comparison to theirs, so I don't even bother to try to tell a story. But they're very well taken care of. The staff is great. Susan does an amazing job for the VLB as the on-site rep, making sure things run smoothly. For a time, she was actually running the one here in El Paso and the one in Amarillo before they got a new rep for the Amarillo home. So she was bouncing all over the place. But they do a lot of great work. If you are a veteran that is 70% or more disabled, you won't be coming out of pocket if you need to go into the veterans home at all. And with the cemeteries, the closest one to us at this time is Abilene. We do, you know, obviously we have the Fort Bliss National Cemetery here, so that kind of, you know, I guess you could say makes up the difference. But the VLB's cemetery program, how it works is exactly the same as the VA. So it's really kind of like a preference thing. Maybe if you live in the Abilene area and you just would rather, you were born in Texas and you want to be buried in a state cemetery versus the national, you could do that. They do unaccompanied burials for veterans with no next of kin. So everything beyond the gates of the VLB cemeteries is paid for by the VLB. They have partnerships with different organizations, and that kind of offsets getting the individual to the cemetery for the unaccompanied veterans burial. And they invite the public to come out and participate in different events. They had a Memorial Day event at all the cemeteries for flag placement. So, you know, we also have the call center in Austin. We actually share the call center with the Texas Veterans Commission. Not a lot of people know that. So if you call the 800-252-8387 number, you could be talking to a VLB rep or a TBC rep. You don't know, but they share it. So I guess my point is even if you have questions that don't pertain to the Veterans Land Board, you can call that number. And, you know, if you need services, you know, employment services, educational services, claims, whatever it may be, you can call that number and they'll get you to the right person wherever you're at to get you the help you need. The VLB, we're on social media. We're on Facebook at TXVLB, Twitter at Texas VLB, Instagram at Texas Veterans, and YouTube at Texas VLB. And of course, you know, I'm right here in El Paso. So my email is don.prott@glo.texas.gov. I know you guys have my contact info. I'm also on LinkedIn, so I'm always happy to connect with, you know, veterans or service members. You know, I try to share as much information as possible with as far as programs and events going on in the area. But that's pretty much what we do at the VLB. It's pretty good programs.
Yeah, I do have a question. So let's say you get a house with a VLB. Do you have to stay in it a certain amount of time before, let's say, you decide to either rent it out or get another house? How does that?
It has to be your primary residence for at least 3 years.
3 years? Okay.
Yeah. There are people. So one of the things with the home loan program that is kind of intriguing for a lot of people, I get a lot of questions about it anyway, is you can actually buy duplexes. So you could buy, like, you know, a 3 or 4 set duplex and you'd be living in one of them and then renting the other 3 out. I mean, that's something that you can do. So, you know, it's just one of those things that you're obviously using a home loan. You know, there's that. So you do have to occupy it. And before I forget, as far as the qualifications for using VLB programs, it's very simple. You know, you're either a veteran, you know, reservist with 20 qualifying years for retirement, active duty, spouse of a missing in action or killed in action, or having served at least 90 days on active duty without a dishonorable discharge. And you have to be a Texas resident. And what that means, you know how that goes with the Texas residency thing, right? So with the VLB, you could literally be in Texas for a day and you're a Texas resident as far as VLB is concerned. So just have to be a Texas resident on the dated application.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool deal. I actually get a lot of questions about our programs from people outside of Texas. So people are looking to relocate. They're like, I think I want to come there.
Can't pass up the benefits.
No.
With the home loan program, okay, so you said the max is 50,000. So let's say I take out 20,000. Does that leave me 30,000 to play with, or do I have to like resubmit again for the additional 30,000?
You would have to submit again. That's why I made the point that if you have multiple projects that you were trying to get done, to just go ahead and try to get them all taken care of, you know, at the same time, because otherwise you're going to have to pay that loan off before you can use it again. And when you go to use it again, you're back at the 50,000. It's just, you know, it's not like you use 20 and then you'll only have 30 forever, you know. But the key is when you use that home improvement loan, once you get it done and it's started, you have to pay it off before you can use it again. So.
And I'm glad you brought up the veterans homes, because I know a lot of people confuse it thinking it belongs to the VA, because I've actually gotten emails, you know, the VA won't give me the answers, and I'm like, well, the VA doesn't run it. So I'm glad you clarified that, because I used to think the VA ran it too until I learned that it's actually the Veterans Land Board that oversees the veterans homes.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I've got. I'm gonna find it, but I have Susan's information over there, the on-site rep. So if you ever get questions about the home itself, just reach out to her. I mean, she has been with the VLB a very long time, and she's been running that home for a very long time. So there's not a question that you have that she cannot answer as far as the home is concerned.
Right. No, that's great. Definitely make sure we keep on putting that out, because like I said, a lot of people are confused about that, but you know, knowledge is power. So
yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I know you stay busy, but we appreciate you supporting us yet again.
No, I anytime that I have an opportunity to come hang out with you two for a little bit, it's always a pleasure. You know, I've always been a strong advocate for, you know, the one-stop emergence and what you guys do with MVPN. And you know, the only way that we can make sure that there's awareness out there is by doing these types of things. And you know, of course it's beneficial for me too to come on, and there's veterans out there that have no idea what we do at the VLB, and it's spots like these that that give us the opportunity to share that information. So keep tune in too, because here soon I'm going to be starting a podcast. So y'all be coming on for a podcast. It's been approved, but I gotta get the equipment and all that stuff. So be looking at starting a podcast here in El Paso for veteran related stuff. It'll be part like a plug for organizations, but also like shenanigans. So
We'll
be
be
a little bit of both.
all right. Well, you take care.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.